In July of 2014, Gearbox, then known for the Borderlands series, announced their next game would be in a whole new genre, the MOBA, or Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. Now, almost 2 years later, the game they announced, Battleborn, has finally hit the scene. Hey guys, Drak here, and today we're taking a look at Battleborn to see if Gearbox has yet another success on their hands, or if they should have stuck to the genres they know. So let's find out! So the story here is simplistic, being as this game is primarily multiplayer. It takes place on the planet Solus, as 4 factions battle for dominance of the sector. You, as the player, assume the roles of these factions' greatest champions on the front lines for control of Solus and its ancient secrets. Now to some it seems I might have skipped over a few details, but what I'm trying to convey is the story that the game shares with you. Personally, I don't think it does so very well, but it's still entertaining regardless, and again, given the multiplayer element, story isn't where this game needs to shine most, and therefore it doesn't hurt the overall experience. While there is a campaign that you go through, it's mainly to introduce the various characters you play as in multiplayer, and to me it's at least passable in that regard. So visually, this game felt very familiar to Borderlands. In fact, I'm kinda surprised we didn't see some kind of character cameo in it, but this isn't meant in a bad way. The planets and battlegrounds look very solid, and so do the characters. In fact, their overall shape felt to me as if some other way to explain their character. For example, Wrath is thin and sharp like a blade, and Montana looks as much of a beefcake as his character portrays him to be. To sum it up, Battleborn doesn't look bad, far from it. However, it doesn't necessarily stand out from the crowd like, say, Borderlands did, or even Overwatch does. As you can imagine, this game plays like most first-person games you've played, but with a Gearbox twist. I say that because again, when playing any character, at least in my opinion, it feels very much like the Borderlands series. Again, not a bad thing, but not necessarily innovating either. While the campaign does play smoothly, multiplayer is where I think this game will suffer, as really the only mode I thought was fun was the MOBA-style battleground. But with that said, I want to emphasize that I'm not much of a multiplayer guy, and if you're looking for a more in-depth perspective, my review won't answer those questions for you. Aside from that, there really isn't much I can say gameplay-wise. It looks, feels, and plays like a shooter mixed with some melee combat in between, and it's pretty solid in that department. So I wish I could say that the audio stood out from all the rest, but not really. It's not bad, but the music and voice work just isn't the greatest I've heard. It's all very solid and mixed very well, but again, compared to other entries that have come out this year, it feels solid, but very much in the average category. Again, that's not a bad thing. If anything, I'm happy that there are more companies that have good sound mixing. But sadly, it just doesn't stand out from other good titles that have come out this year. So with replay value, obviously there's a lot of potential here. The campaign only takes about 5 to 6 hours to complete, which is frankly more than most mainstream shooters currently and way more entertaining. The multiplayer is really where this game will shine in this area, but right now it honestly needs more maps and modes along with some DLC character announcements to bring the hype back up for it. So I know throughout this review it seems that I'm hammering the same concepts, and for the most part I am, but it's not because I hate Battleborn, it's because I know it can be so much more. With some additional content, Battleborn could be a competitor in the multiplayer shooter scene, but for the moment it's a solid addition to Gearbox's list of IPs, but like the original Borderlands, they need to learn a lot more for this to be as successful as that series became. Battleborn is a solid game and fun to play, but sadly, it's average when it comes to other shooters currently out in the market, which is why I'm giving Battleborn a 6 out of 10. And that's going to do it for this review. If you liked what I had to say, feel free to give a like to this video. If you didn't like what I had to say, leave a comment and let me know what you think. Also consider subscribing to my channel, as I do so much more work aside from game reviews. Like for example, my Let's Play with Brinton Volley on YouTube of Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, or my newest summer Let's Play of one of my favorite titles, World of Warcraft. But until next time, I'm Drak, and I'll see you for the next review.